Good afternoon, everybody. It's John once again on my YouTube channel for Father's Rights and my Anti-Human Trafficking YouTube channel. It's 2:35 p.m. May 25th, 2024. Kind of warm out today. Drinking a nice cold one. Today I'm going to give you another view of the preliminary crimes that I'm going to report. Exactly what we're going to do when NYPD shows up and we're going to film them. This is another part of it. I actually was talking to a friend who's in California right now, and we're all brainstorming this, and he brought something up to my realization that I think every parent out there who has a kid that disappeared, especially parents who had young minor children that might have been impregnated by somebody much older than them, and they decided, to run off with that person. This might be able to help you trace your child if they are missing. In my case, the guardian of the children was a valid foster caregiver, and she violated the tenets of the foster care service. Actually, she should be, since the child would cross state lines and was put in the hands of the guy who statutory raped the minor, they're in violation of the Mann Act. What they committed now is a federal crime. And there's two reasons why our pedophile extraordinaire took the girl out of New York State. There's two reasons. Now, the first reason we said is because the age of consent in New York is 17 years old, but in Connecticut it's 16. Okay? And the girl at the time was 8 months pregnant when she was 15. So moving her to Connecticut would give him the chance that after she gave birth, well, to put it bluntly, it's hammer time. I feel sorry to say it that way, but in the vernacular of a pedophile, that's what he was probably thinking. But there's also another reason why he removed the girl from her home with the foster guardian's permission, which she wasn't supposed to grant because that child was a ward of the state, and he took illegal custody of this girl by marrying her and moving her to another state. But I'm pretty sure that the person given the foster care didn't tell the foster care system and was still on the dole, for money to take care of that child that was no longer in her house. So when he moved her from New York to Connecticut, it was to take advantage of the age of consent and cover his tracks and cover his ass. But there was also something else brought to my attention by somebody from California. Now, this child giving birth in New York, the doctors are obligated to report it if they have to they have to get an ID on both parties. If they would have found out this girl was giving birth at 15 and the father who's standing before them is 31, they're obligated to call this into the police. So no, you don't want to give birth in New York. You got to skedaddle. We got to move to Connecticut when the girl is 15 years old and 8 months pregnant. She's about to pop. We can't have a pop in New York City where everybody knows her true age and stuff. So we move to Connecticut where the age of consent is. We don't have to show any ID. The girl says, I just came in from Canada. A lie. And she gives birth up in Connecticut, where the doctors, knowing that the age of consent is 16 years old, and they can't make a positive ID on her, they're just going to make sure that the kid is born healthy in a healthy environment. They're going to fulfill their Hippocratic oath. This is how people are getting, these pedophiles are getting away with this shit. So what I'm saying is that you parents who live in these states where the age of consent is 17 or older, They're going to take your child, if she happens to be pregnant, and bring her to a state that has a lower age of consent and bring this pregnancy to term to cover their tracks. Now remember, if they're coming in from another state, you don't have to produce any ID in Connecticut to give birth. If you're giving birth, that's it, they got to help you. The most they'll worry about is who's going to pay the bill. And there you go. So now we know there's two reasons why he took the girl out of New York City and moved her to Connecticut before she gave birth. Because in New York City, they would have to get a positive ID on the age of this girl and the age of the father. And then they're obligated to call the police. That's why he moved to Connecticut, to avoid all that. So now you realize, people, it's a violation to move a minor child across state lines so you can have sex with her. Alright? That's a violation of the Mann Act. That turns it federal. So all these people involved, including my wife, who knew all about this from its beginning till its end, and did absolutely nothing. And I'll say it again, just to clarify. If you have knowledge that a child is being sexually abused, and you're an adult, and you don't call the authorities, you have committed a crime. Since it's across state lines, the punishment of the crime becomes much harsher. And on that, I'm out of here.